The patient lost his first molars on the lower jaw. So the second molars, they tipped mesially. The upper first molars extruded. So we are going to fix this and to resolve the crowding on the upper and lower arches. And we start with change local origo, where we check all the axis of the teeth. So here, first of all, we turn on this view, the occlusal view, and we check if the axes are correctly placed by my technician who prepared these models for me, because I don't do the segmentation by myself. It takes time, so that I outsource it to my employee. But I have to check after him if he placed the axis correctly, the virtual roots, I mean. Then we turn on the side view and check from this point of view. We always take the roots from the CBCT. So here at this step, we have to put the virtual axis so that they match the real anatomy of the teeth. The torque is fine, so yes, we can proceed to the upper jaw. Same sequence of actions. Don't forget to check this box, this field. So we have to make sure that our rotation center is placed in the root. 70% means it's placed in the middle of the root, so that if we take a look at this spot, you can see that the virtual center rotation is placed approximately in the middle of the root. So when we work with the liners, it's very important so that our tooth movements will be more biomechanically correct. Once we've done with mesial distal axis, now we check the angulation of the roots. And torque of the roots. Torque is okay, then now we can start moving the teeth. Let's remove the gingiva, we don't need it. So we are going to do the distal tipping and at the same time to align the frontal teeth. With aligners, we can just make a distal tipping here. We cannot make an intrusion because we don't have enough anchorage. So yeah, we're going to just tip this second molars. Okay. Let's tip it for the half of the way. Same on the opposite side. And we'll start to move the incisors, canines, and premolars to the vestibular direction. And just expand and rotate, as we usually do in the cases with the crowding. Always make sure that we don't have any recession, that the roots are inside the bone 100% of the time. That's the reason we use the CBCT scans, superimposition. Let's check the length of the roots. It's about an average length. So it means we should follow this ratio when we cannot rotate if we do not tip the incisors. So I always try to rotate not faster than I tip the teeth. So if I rotate for, let's say, 12 degrees, I have to procline or recline the tooth for the same amount of degrees. Otherwise, the rotation can be incomplete. This is called round tripping. I have to be accurate here. Let's even reduce this amount of tipping. I combine tipping and translational movements for the premolars because it's how aligners work. They tip the teeth for approximately 70% and 30% is a translation. Okay, now we can go to the upper jaw and make some expansion. We can turn on the lower jaw as well to see the occlusal contacts to make sure we expand enough. In the frontal area, we have to make some sagittal gap. So that the teeth on the lower jaw, they can expand in the way we do it on the virtual setup, so that they can expand in the real life. So we need to maintain some sagittal gap at the time of the expansion. Well, and I guess we should add some intrusion of the first molars on the upper jaw. I'm not sure if it works, but we can try. Lining all the teeth. I don't touch the second molars because we cannot expand them with the liners. Don't have enough anchorage, enough force to move them with just the tip of a liner. That's why I don't even touch them. Okay, this is our first layer, upper and lower. And now we go to layer 2, create it, and what do you do at the second layer? We just retract the teeth, close the gaps we've created. I use only tipping movements, both in the mesial distal and vestibular palatal directions, because it's how aligners works. It's a basic movement for aligners. I can add some more intrusion. To the first molars here. And let's do something to the lower teeth. Let's first start with the molars. It was 14 degrees of tipping, and we add another about the same amount of tipping. I think now it's enough space for the implant and crown. And we can finish the rotations. We retract and rotate the frontal teeth. And now it's time to see the occlusal contacts, the sagittal contacts, and adjust them. I think I expanded too much here, so I can go to layer 1 to reduce this amount of expansion. So if I did, I go to layer 2 and reset the position of these teeth so that they are being reset as they were at the layer 1. Looks good on the left side, and what's on the right side? I don't like this gap between the canines. Oh, we need to turn the gingiva on to see the initial position. Yes, they were in the tight contact, so we have to create it. So tip this canine more. I don't like to extrude canines, but here I think it's the option, because I don't see any other ways to make a tight contact here. So we'll extrude it at the layer 1. When I extrude the teeth, I don't combine the extrusion with any other movements, but vestibular tipping. So I remove the rotation, I remove the mesial distal tipping, I leave just torque, and I extrude. Let it be 0.7. Let's see if we extrude it for 0.7. Is it enough for us or not? Okay. Let's extrude with thermal correction. So we'll make 1 millimeter here. Okay. I will have to put the special attachment to extrude the canine. Okay, let's put the incisors and canines to the final position. We'll check the initial position of the teeth. And if we see that this distal edge of the central incisors there was a bit outwards, we have to put them inwards. It's called an overcorrection. I'll always overcorrect for about 10%, even up to 20. I would see the black triangles here, but we can nothing to do with this. We have nothing to do with this because even if we improve the angulation, they still persist. So I'm not going to work on this. We can make more IPR and keep the frontal teeth monolingually so that we reduce the black triangles. We can do this for some degree. Okay. And we should keep the incisors more palatally. Good contacts between the canines, I like it. Hope the the extrusion will work. The root is not super long, so it's doable. Now we're checking the overcorrection on the upper jaw. Can we improve the midline? It was aligned. We tipped the upper incisors to the right side. So let's try to fix this. If we can, I think we can. at least. Oh, what's going? Hey. Uh, Sometimes this happens with Maestro. It stops to react on my actions. Oh, it works again. Good. Okay, since I'm satisfied with the virtual setup, I can put the attachments. So I usually don't put the attachments on the second molars for retention, but here it's mandatory because we intrude the first molars. So it means we have to get enough retention in this part. So I use this shape number 2, the rectangulars. And I place them parallel to the occlusal plane. When we intrude the molars, we don't need any attachments on them. Same for incisors and any other teeth. But we need the attachments on the neighboring teeth. We'll put the attachments for retention on the first premolars and the lower jaw. And I'd like to put some attachments for distal, not for distalization, because these molars, they will be distally tipped without any attachments, because we have the surface to push to cut to make the liners fit tight. We need to create some additional, we need to make some additional anchorage here. So we'll use some attachments. Let's take this one. Let's pick up this one, shape 11. Make it 1 millimeter. So it gives us some additional retention. It probably helps the distalization. The distal tipping, I mean. And we'll copy paste it to the other side. Same place. The numbers. Do we need any other attachments? Let's check. Yes, we do. At least we need an attachment on the tooth 1, 3. so that it's able to extrude. We also need an attachment here. Here we rotate for 13 degrees. The lower right canine. And we'll need some negative attachment, I think. Yep. Let's use the shape. Where is the triangular? Yes, it's here. I use the shape for canine rotation. I really like it. I've tested many shapes, many different shapes of attachments for rotation of the canines, and I like this more than the other ones. I always get the best results with this attachment. Okay. An extrusion. We'll extrude at the layer 1, and at the layer 2 we'll remove this attachment. So we needed only the first layer. I think it's called horizontal beveled. Okay. It's an Invisalign style attachment. I put it this way. Check if it's perpendicular to the direction of an extrusion. I think it is. We'll also need to use some good plastic material if we want to extrude. I'm going to use Endura FLX or Graphy TC85 here. So not a basic PETG plastic. I hope it's gonna work. Okay, I think I put a couple of negative attachments at the first layer on the lower jaw to help the central incisors to rotate and to procline. And at the second layer, I guess it's a good idea to put the negative attachment to the opposite side. And do we need any negative attachments at the upper jaw? I think not really. Here we can add it, but it's gonna create some unnecessary tension in this area of the liner, and it can affect our extrusion, which I don't want. We'll just slow down this rotation. Distribute its amount between two layers. Now doing on the rotation at the first layer. Should we line the incisors so that their incisal edge edges at the same level? We'll show it to the doctor if they're going to make some prosthetics, I don't know, or maybe they just grind them to make them look more even. I'm not going to make a complete rotation for the premolars, especially for this second premolar on the left side, because it doesn't have any sense in my opinion, and it's just difficult for aligners. We can add some more, but I think it's an immediate relapse here. Now I think we should add these attachments to the second premolars as well, because it's a big gap here. I think we need to straighten the anchorage here. Set for layers, set for layers. Okay, now we will see how many aligners do we need to produce to let this case go. We go to the models builder. And check the numbers. At least 9, but I think we expand the canines here, we distalize here. No, I think we can go even down to 10. And probably 9. Yep, 9 at the second layer. So 19 aligners. Not too many. Let's make the same quantity. Let it be 11 and 8. And now we'll launch the animation. Round tripping, expansion, nothing special. And the intrusion of the first molars. We do both. We do a relative intrusion, which happens just because we tip the crown towards the vestibular direction, and we make the bodily intrusion at the same time. Let's see the lower teeth, how they move. So this is important. They procline, they rotate, and then they don't intersect the central incisors, I mean. So if we take a look at their initial position, if we just procline them, they intersect. We have to strip a lot here between them, but we make a distal tipping, combine it with proclination and rotation, and we don't get any intersections till the very last aligners, where we can easily add some stripping. We can safely, what is more important, add some stripping. Okay, let's see what is going on with the second molars. They just tip. No problems. Okay, this is our final result. Not too many liners, I think. And once I'm satisfied with the result, I always export it, the M3D file. And after that, I upload this case to the cloud. Where is it? I had to buy the gold subscription recently because I have uploaded more than 100 cases within the last 2 months. So now I can keep up to 200 cases uploaded in the cloud. Okay. Now we can refresh our dashboard, and we find the setup here. And we will send this link to our customer.